Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the controversy that is surrounding this new 2024 Mazda MX-5 Miata ND3. And man, I mean, I feel like every time there's a new version of a car, a new slight improvement, refresh, whatever, there's always some controversy. What's going on is you have a lot of people online who are so emotionally invested in their opinion that they believe is 100% truth about this car. So if you go on the Miata forums, you're going to see a lot of people who talk about how the steering is great and it doesn't need anything and this car is beautiful and any improvement from the ND2 to the ND3 is just not worth it, blah blah blah. Even on my previous video on the first impressions, I had a commenter who, you know, gave me very personal critiques. He's like, hey, don't take this personally, but let me do some ad hominem attacks. Which, by the way, I love when you guys give me constructive criticism. That's how I improved my YouTube channels, you know, all of them actually, especially Med School Insiders. We've improved so much from your feedback that helps us grow. But occasionally when someone gets out of line and starts making ad hominem attacks that are completely baseless, I will put them in their place, as I did with that commenter. And what surprised me and what prompted me to make this video is that I see all this negativity, including that commenter. They're all ND1 or ND2 owners. And look, okay, here's what's actually happening. The people who currently own an ND1 or ND2, they feel like, hey, this improvement, this is a better car than mine. They feel that subconsciously. And they try to cope with that by trying to downplay how big of an improvement or how good the updated car actually is. It's a coping mechanism. And you see this with a lot of new cars. With the FRS, I owned the first gen FRS and got the new GR86. When the GR86 was unveiled, I was so excited. I tend to be a more glass half full kind of guy, but people are like, it's ugly, the chassis stiffness doesn't really matter, this, that. I was like, dude, shut your fucking mouth. You guys are coping so hard, and those who actually want to discuss the merits of the car, the pros and cons, the strengths and weaknesses, we can't even have that conversation without the noise from these people on straight copium spewing their nonsense. So the ND3 is better than the ND2. You have the asymmetrical LSD, which makes a difference on stability on corner entry and rotation on corner exit. It improves both of those. And it has significantly better steering. And it's cool. Not everyone can detect that. That's fine, man. I saw some Miata forum commenters saying like, hey, I do track days and I've driven my Miata and I know that the steering, I've drove both of them and there's no difference. First of all, going to track days doesn't automatically make you a good driver, unfortunately. There's a lot of people on track. I mean, those who actually go to the track regularly, you'd be like, hey man, to be a top 5% driver is not very challenging at all, let's be real. To that guy, I would say, practice some humility, man. Rather than digging your heels into the ground, say, hey, if these other people are detecting something that I don't, maybe it's because I just don't have the capacity yet to detect it. And work on that skill set, keep improving. That's awesome, that's cool. It's about your mindset, guys. Like, a lot of people, guys, when it comes to driving, they think that they know everything, because to challenge that is to challenge their ego. The reason I improved so fast at driving, at track days, is because I practice humility. I go at it saying, hey, I don't know everything. And by the way, I still do have a lot more to learn. But you accelerate your rate of learning and rate of improvement by doing so. I became a track day instructor after a very small number of track days. People were surprised because you put in the work, you practice humility, you accelerate your growth, and then you impress the right people. And they're like, damn, like, you have the right attitude about this, your skill set is there, your teaching skills are there, boom, boom, boom. And that was actually the head instructor of PCA on the national level, who was like, dude, you need to be an instructor. We would be so thrilled to have you. You can actually see that video down in the description, the conversation we had. And for my fellow car and watch enthusiasts, we're trying to incorporate more unique watches in every video. I'm gonna try to call them out in every video. This one is the Rolex Submariner, the reference number 126610LN. A classic. God, I love this transmission. I love this car, man. Big thanks to CardinaleWay Mazda out here in Las Vegas for loaning me the car for a week. It's been such a joy, such a treat. So that's really the main thing I want to say about the ND3. You know, people will choose a side, and it's usually they have a very biased take that they're unaware of, or they are aware of it and they just don't give a f. They just want to try to argue their point, to try to sway, sway the conversation one way or another. And that's just not right. I mean, some people are going to point out to other reviewers who said, oh, the steering is essentially the same. I can tell you for a fact that leaving the parking lot, I could tell the steering was instantly better. Leaving the parking lot. Same with the Lotus Emira versus Lotus Evora comparison I did. Because on-center feedback, you don't have to be driving on the canyons to get that, to understand on-center feedback. And everyone has different sensitivities and proclivities. Like I said in a previous video, yeah, I have honed my dexterity over the years from being a child, drawing, building model cars, building little arts and crafts custom made, all that stuff, to plastic surgery. Like, I very much intentionally honed working with my hands. It wasn't an accident. Like, I was very proud of my skills in the operating room, but I only got there by doing a lot of intentional practice. Similarly, I don't think that I have the best ears. I don't think that I can tell you, there's certain people that will tell you, like, not only whether it's a V6, inline 6, V8, V10, they'll tell you the exact car or model. I'm like, dude, that's so impressive. They probably have really well-developed ears. Maybe they did music when they were younger. Maybe they really trained their sense of hearing. So just because someone else that you follow or respect says there's no difference, they might have different strengths and weaknesses when it comes to reviewing cars and detecting the little nuances, right? Like, I'm not going to be the best person to tell you about the noise of a car, but also it might just be differences in the actual environment. Maybe they didn't drive them back to back, or if they did, maybe, dude, I keep seeing that 3000 GT around everywhere. I would love to test drive a 3000 GT. But if it is the same, they're driving the vehicle back to back on the same road, maybe different tires, different setup, different PSI. There's all these different things that can influence how a vehicle feels behind the wheel. So the key thing here is have your opinions. We all have opinions. There's nothing wrong with that, but hold them loosely. Don't be too stubborn, especially if you were Randy Popes and he was the one who said, hey, the steering here, there's no difference at all. Okay, I understand that he has a lot of experience. I really trust what he has to say. But if you yourself, you're not Randy Popes, you're not some expert on the thing that you're commenting on, understand that, hey, maybe there's something for you to learn here, right? And please, let's be a little bit more aware of our biases. The number of people who just get so negative about the new version of a car that is improved on the previous version is just insane. And then eventually, 6 months later, oh, I guess the GR86 does look a little bit better than the FRS. Yeah, it's kind of, I'm warming up to it, or whatever they would say. It's nonsense. Come on, guys. Let's be real. Stop taking the copium. Let's have a real conversation. Let's be aware of our biases. I will tell you the things I like and don't like about a car, because let's pursue the truth. Why do we waste time, energy, our breath on this nonsense, playing these games, being so foolish and fooling ourselves? That's why with all my reviews, whether it's my CX-50 or my Emira or my GR86, I tell you the things I like and the things I don't like. I don't need to take copium to reinforce my decision or make me feel better. Let's just be adults about it, all right? Anyway, my friends, let me know what you think with a comment down below. Much love, and I'll see you all in the next one.